So you're dying? Why is this the last? Maybe I missed that part. I heard big laughs, and I thought, oh God, Dan's dying. Is that?
No, we're just we're gonna move into a different venue.
We found out the owner of Nerdmount Comics is a big Trump supporter, so we said, "Fuck this shit."
Every comic book you buy
this is
goes to ICE.
A third of your money goes to deporting Mexicans.
You may as well be doing it yourself if you're really into.
If you love comic books so much, you might as well just say, "I hate Mexican people."
Anything by Garth Ennis, double it. It's like the more cool and smart the comic, the more Mexicans you're helping deport.
Hey, what about this Bill O'Reilly, man? Huh? Woo! I know. How you doing? We're back here in the dark.
It's a special Rob Schraub topical corner moment.
Topical corner.
Hey, Spencer.
Topical.
What's up?
Spencer.
Let's crack into this.
Well, Bill O'Reilly
topical corner
rubs a lot of people the wrong way. Which way does he rub you?
Oh.
Did I say something clever? It's terrible.
He literally rubs people.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, the wrong way.
Okay, all right.
Say what you will about Bill O'Reilly. I think it's very impressive that he's refused to learn anything from this. His statement,
giving
which
him
is like,
millions of
I've learned nothing. Nothing is different. Everybody else is wrong. Don't worry about me. I'm still the same.
It's weird because he came off to me. He came off so laid back. It's weird to find out that he was a tense, overreaching asshole.
Do you draw any comfort when you hear about these old guys, the baby boomers that are like have their little sexual scandals? Like, do you ever in the back of your head go, well, at least I thought your dick stopped working when you go to.
And
you're kind of like, well, maybe I don't.
As you know, I'm a sexual haranguer, and we hate harassers.
Oh, okay.
Do you harassers? They kind of get in and get out. Haranguers, we sort of stay on it. You know what I mean? Like we cultivate it.
You put in the work.
We put in the work. We put in the work. Say what you want about the work. Maybe it's not for you.
No.
But we're there every day.
You put it in.
Saying, I'm serious. You look like my favorite beverage is hot chocolate. And I know I said it yesterday in passing, but
and we told you
stay on it.
We tell you daily, Mitch, please stop saying that.
No, and it's like, well, I'm a haranguer. I can't.
A sexual haranguer is someone who stays just on this side of the lawsuit and legal line of harassment. They're just
absolutely. It's a personality defect.
It's just like, hey, I just really enjoy working with you. I know you do, and I can tell you want to fuck me.
It's the craziest thing. Although I will say, I go out of my way now not to look at people and talk. It is very hard. Let me just make the case from Bill's point of view, and I don't know, maybe this won't be met with a lot of.
Hear him out. Hear
me out, especially you. Yes. I'm not gonna. I'm not going to use the T word.
This story is why he's on Netflix now.
That's right. I'm doing 3 episodes of Moon that comes out. 3 episodes, season 1. Season 2 is just 2 episodes. I think it is hard for us not to comment on each other's physicality. Like, I want to come out and say, like, oh, suit.
What you mean, suit?
Okay, all right, It is so.
Wow.
Goddamn haranguers.
I know.
Let it go.
Well, I just show up.
Not gonna let it go.
I mean, I would have started with black, but that's
That's all I see. Race and then gender in that order. Because I can let your race go if you're a man.
Well, as you know, I'm sort of famously colorblind.
Right.
But I'm not going to take any shit from some blue guy. What? Did I get it wrong?
Either way, I lose. Okay. From black to blue, the Brandon Johnson story. Blue like meat. Call me a motherfucking Smurf.
I would have called it black and blue.
No, it's thrilling to see him go down, and then you have to worry that you're just liking it because you're just seeing somebody get their comeuppance. You know, you have to kind of.
And also
you don't
kind
be
of
too
part of the
tribal
problem
about it, but you're just so happy to see, and it's just constantly frustrating that they never learn. The Trump thing, I think what's maddening about the Trump thing is you keep waiting for him to say like, "I'm just some old bald asshole."
We can't get over our feeling that if you heap enough pressure on that spot, we keep hitting the button that is linked to shame, and there's a cord dangling. And it's just dangling. It's got tape around it, like that says "fuck you," and we just think put cinder blocks on the shame button. Like maybe he doesn't know how orange he is, and this isn't unconstitutional. Last time I checked.
What the uplifting thing for me on this one, I haven't followed it that closely, but it seemed like this was a thing that only women did. Like women just kept coming at him, and they finally fucking took him out, which is what you can't do to most people. Like women actually got together and took this dude down.
Well, because you saw him in the room with the German Chancellor, Prime Minister, President. What is she? Helga von Leader.
I thought she was in.
He wouldn't look her in the eye. I mean, I recognize that. Like he's
Angela Merkel.
He's a scared of
She's
the
kind
ladies.
of a dog, you know.
Like I think it really got to him, the idea of the tax march. Like he was like,
no, she's impressed. She's a little flat, but she's okay.
Yeah. No, it's hard to be a 4 as a prime minister.
I always think the thing to do is to. I always want to come out because they're also so homophobic and everything, and to come out and just like for me to just come out and say, he's sexually like in the case of O'Reilly, like he sexually harassed me. He was always talking about my ass, and just see if you can get O'Reilly to say, no, that I definitely didn't do. No, I definitely
We're going to
not.
find out that Mike Pence is a raging queen, right? We're going to find that out. But he's been just fucking sucking dicks with both hands his entire life.
From both ends. From both ends?
Hands.
Both hands.
Both hands and both ends.
Both ends.
He sucks a dick from both ends. He fucking tops to bottom. Mike Pence, our vice president, will suck your dick from fucking top to bottom. And that's the Mike Pence guarantee.
Yeah. From the soup that is your nuts to the nuts that is the tip of your dick. Metaphorically, he will suck your whole dick.
Need someone to help your balls and penis make sense? Call the expert at Mike Pence.
But with the Bill O'Reilly thing, it's better that he not have a job than get like promoted. But at the same time, there's like this bleakness in this post-Trump landscape where we all know about the polarization now. So we all know that Trump got elected, albeit by a minority, but he got elected even though, we heard him say the worst things a president theoretically could ever say. And so we now know it's like there's this force field type thing that pushes, like class is stronger than, for instance, gender loyalty. If you're a woman that feels like you're part of a disenfranchised demo, you don't feel united by your ovaries to some rich bitch in Manhattan. You feel actually quite the opposite. That's what the tables are showing. I think men always thought, and I think Democratic men always, especially thought, but the ladies, if you say something bad about the ladies, they'll have no choice but to stick together.
I think we all assumed that would be the special interest, and it wasn't. It was much more like, woman, I'm white.
Yeah.
It ended up being
exactly. Like, oh my God, I never noticed how white I am before they started talking about what a woman I was. No, boy, I'm so alabaster. I love it. But watching Bill O'Reilly get fired, I just know there's not a single person on the fucking planet that's been flipped by this. It's in fact, it's as if he might as well have been gotten fired for saying Merry Christmas instead of Happy Holidays.
Yeah, well, I think most people aren't flipped. I think there's all sorts of proof
they have
that you can show, you can give people reasonable evidence, and there's all these studies that show no, they just believe what they believe.
They actually double down
stronger. Yeah.
Which as a chimpanzee, like that's kind of admirable. Like that we have this skepticism, but it's like it's a gauge that it's like if you could just put it on pause and shit
you
that
have
matters.
to be willing to, I don't know that I would pass this test. You have to be willing to be able to be convinced of another. Like if somebody said to me, could I convince you that one race or one sex is better than another, I might say no. I mean, I might have that liberal knee jerk, and somebody who believes, that the Earth is 5,000 years old may also say no.
Right.
They may say no. I can't be convinced.
Well, how many times we all know we have that built-in hero gene that's like, oh, you're supposed to be adamant. You're supposed to stick to your convictions. You're supposed to cross thresholds and explore, but often those things are foisted upon you, and you're supposed to. But what you're really supposed to do is defend the honor of your integrity and all this shit, and it really is just an emotional reaction. If somebody says everything you believe is a lie, it's not. We don't call it an admirable characteristic to go like, "Okie doke, boss." Like we look at with admiration upon the hero that goes like, "Well,
I'm a Sunni. I'm not a Shia, and I will never be a Shia." It's like it really is. It's like we all have these tribal things, and even having children, I have found myself saying things about like, "Oh, come on, buck up. I didn't mean to. Don't tell your mother. I didn't mean to break your lip," or whatever the specific doesn't matter. But
that seems very specific.
I've even found that I've wanted to say things like, "Well, you're a Hurwitz," or just give them this little sense of identity so that they have. And then as I do that, I think, well, that's what's wrong with the whole world.
Yeah, it's what we don't.
But you can't really tell a child you're no better than you should cry.
Yeah, but
because you're not special.
I mean, how many times a day or a week at least is it, like you're in a conversation with somebody that's like you're collaborating creatively, and then somebody starts to go, here's the thing though, like if people love dogs, and you're just like, you're a better showrunner, for instance, if you go like, I know where you're going with that, please shut the fuck up, my writers can handle it, I'm not adding a dog to the show because you watched Frasier. Like it's,
is that what they did on that show? I'm behind. I haven't.
I'm just saying like
spoiler.
Like we don't.
There's a dog.
You don't call that bigotry against someone else's ideas, but you're using the same reflexive kind of almost ignorant kind of like barbaric part of your brain that defends your turds and piss and eggs, all of which are of equal value. Like that's where I poop shit and
gotta defend that. Gotta defend it. People are always coming after it.
Things that you secrete, you're like sensitive about. You're like, I'm pooping, and if somebody's like knock knock, you're like fuck off, and that's what you're supposed to do.
That's my poop and piss.
You're not supposed to say get in here, put your finger in there, and help the turd come out.
You're not supposed to say that.
Put new turds up there. Mine are just as good as yours.
Keep away from my turds.
I really want to. I want to agree with that. I'm just.
But you're going through.
Working my way back to where it started, and I don't know what side I'm on that. You can have my turds. I think I'm okay.
Don't
with
foist your turds on me.
Yeah. It's possible. You know what I have? I brought up in a writer's room recently and was instantly shot down. So I think I'm onto something.
6 million's a high number.
I remember for a baker per year. Yes.
It's our last show, everybody. Thanks for coming.
How much does a baker make? That was always our test of the rich people in the room. How much do you think a baker makes? $200,000 a year? $500? What's your guess? What does a toaster cost? What, $500? What do you think? $450? Having grown up watching things like All the President's Men, and you see we know it's Nixon, but you're watching these guys sort of suss it out, and Haldeman knew? Higher than Haldeman? Ehrlichman? You're watching going like, it's Nixon. How could you not? That experience? Well, I have a feeling this is almost like people who think that the trade towers, the World Trade Towers, were an inside job.
The World Trade Towers.
World Trade Towers.
How soon we forget.
And I wasn't even in that town at that time.
Because the whole point was not to forget. What did you do? You immediately forget. You had 2 jobs.
I remember because it's 9/11. it's
He's so
every
used to
other
on
number.
Netflix not being able to clear the rights to things.
Yeah, I know.
So he has to.
Yes, the multi-corporate building structures that are. But anyway, I think people are going to look back at us. They're going to look back at us and they're going to say, whenever they brought up, Russia interfered with the elections, and all the people on the right would say, they didn't touch the voting machines.
Right.
And everybody on the left would say, yeah, no, we're not talking about the voting machines. No, we're saying, but they influence. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Those are state things. And I bet you they fucked with the voting machines.
I think, yeah.
And I'll bet you people are going to see these news stories in 50 years and say, how come they didn't know?
How come they wouldn't know that? And it's like what do we know about these folks? It's like, do we have enough data to run a reliable simulator of their thinking the day they find out we're voting by computer from now on?
And what would it
machines
look like?
that look like slot machines?
What would it look like? Would it look like 95% chance that Hillary's going to win? He wins. Everybody's shocked. I can't believe everybody voted for Trump. Everybody's shocked.
Right.
Anyway, I think it's a little paranoid and it's a little conspiracy
I'm
theory.
with you too.
But
I think
why can't we even think about that?
I thought people would be a lot more on board with that idea than they have.
Yeah, they
been.
shut it down so fast.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I've seen a lot of people do stuff weird style with computers. There was this guy who died on this what was that guy? Michael, some guy who died in a car, and then they thought that they cyber terrorismed him.
Knight Rider?
Knight Rider, yes.
Yeah.
And then it turned out that they didn't cyber terrorism him, but they said if this cyber terrorism ever happened to someone, it would look exactly like this. And everyone's all like, I guess it wasn't cyber terrorism, but that's what it was.
Well, I wouldn't have suggested it if I knew it was a Knight Rider, but I think I actually like it better as a Knight Rider.
Anyways, how are we coping with our post 100 day?
100 days doesn't matter.
It's exhaustion. No, but I just mean ideologically.
It's ridiculous number.
Don't you feel the normalization setting in, the exhaustion, where you're just like, I can't keep being brokenhearted anymore. Like the healthy part of me wants to move on. Moving on is called normalizing, stopping the fight, but then that's pretentious because then you go, I wasn't fighting. What did I have, a hanky on my face? I wasn't doing anything badass. But I'm not talking about whether or not anything gets results or solves anything.
Hanky on your face.
Well, that's what the modern warriors do.
Right.
But just like as an individual, where you think like, I've gone through the phases of, okay, that sucks, but good. I guess I was kind of spoiled. I guess sucky things don't happen, and then it's all me, and then you go there. It's not about me, and I got to do more stuff, and I'm gonna buy a gun, and just in case, and just all this energy, and I've truly, like, the reason I'm confessing it is because I feel like confession's better than keeping it a secret. It's like I'm fucking exhausted.
Oh, it's exhausting, and you kind of hope. I mean, I find myself hoping, boy, I hope somebody's really keeping track of all this. Like, you're trying to memorize all the stuff to be outraged about. Like we've already forgotten about when he was acting like his own PR guy. There's always, and it is, you do kind of, you tip your hat to people who are staying on it, and somebody like Elizabeth Warren, I've just seen in a lot of interviews, and she's just like unrattled by it. I mean, in a way, you almost have to normalize it so that you can deal with it.
I bet there are people in this country who because they grew up with or work with sociopaths in some degree, that they alone are like are either more frustrated or less frustrated, but in any case are on a different plane of dealing with this. Because I think what's happening is we're finding out, as most hospital staff housing a sociopath, which is virtually incurable because they don't want to be cured. And here's the key. We think based on our reaction to shame, which is usually hardwired into us. Because when your parents see you at the top of a stair and your big ass head's going to take you down the stairs, and they go, Hurwitz, no! So your parents probably called you Hurwitz.
Because
they put this.
I mean, maybe that's even where some of the shame comes from.
My therapist calls it healthy shame. It's like cholesterol. There's healthy shame. There's toxic shame. Toxic shame is you felt it. There's nothing more you can do. Healthy shame is like, oh shit, I gotta be careful. My mom just got really upset.
People,
and so like because we're hardwired with that stuff. We believe justifiably that honesty. It has this hugely important thing, or like you draw a line down the middle of the road, and people are going to tend not to cross it. We think it's because it's like keeping honest people honest, that thing. Well, there's a law against this, so I'm not going to do it. It's our fear of shame, and people, we're fascinated with serial killers and werewolves and mafia movies and things. We have a president now who is like fascinating everyone.
Shameless. I mean,
because he's going like, what do you mean? So I didn't eat the cookies, and he says, you have cookies on your face, and you show a video. There's the video of you eating cookies. He goes, that's video's not a real video. That's like a cookie video. Like and you ate the video. It's like, I thought it was a cookie. Then you ate the cookies. I didn't eat anything. And it's just like he's not lying in his head because there is no end game. It's not like
it's just survival. It's just like a naked ego.
And all of us are finding out that we're defenseless against that. That we have realized that. Shut up, Anna.
Well, that probably means you are. No, if you have an urge to yell it out like that, you probably are defenseless. But I do think the rest of us are not defenseless.
No, come on. Adam Goldberg. You have 11 seconds on stage.
I said his name. Adam
Goldberg. I just took up 4 of your seconds.
21, square root of 5.
We need one more. Another person.
I just think needed a male voice on stage.
Can we finally we get now?
Just a dude.
Can we get some masculine representation on the stage? Adam Goldberg.
Nice to meet you. I'm the guy they hate, so.
We don't hate you. We like you as an enemy.
All right, then I'm the distinguished.
Here's what I really think it's not about being defenseless. I think we get, you can't help, you can't resist wanting. What happened?
I think they might be reacting to the fact that Adam Goldberg came on stage and someone succeeded in just dealing with it. That you just continued. You're just like, I've got so much yard work to do, and I'm not going to let this stop me.
Adam, we have a lot of show tonight because it's our last show. Let's briefly weigh in on how things are going in Goldberg Town.
Well, all right. One, I'm working with Endemol Shine to sell a show, so that's good.
That's
not really.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, you can feel the.
I'm glad I'm not coming next week, which makes the one thing the audience and I agree on.
Let's hear for Adam Goldberg, everybody. Adam Goldberg. That is literally playing off music. I am literally playing you off the stage.
He doesn't know.
And I will continue to play the song until Adam Goldberg is gone.
He came on stage.
That's the end of Adam Goldberg's time. And he's still on stage because he doesn't pick up on social cues.
No, I don't. I miss them all.
And I'd like to thank
even when the song's over.
All right, Adam. It would be a crime. I'd like to acknowledge.
Yeah,
he belongs up here for some percentage of the show. Let's make it like
as little as possible.
Like what do you call it?
Like a fecal implant.
Like the amount of.
What you were going to say? I thought that's what you were going to say. I didn't know what you were going to say. Well, in other words, it can promote. It can promote.
Is it a fecal implant that you go when someone's already in the room, or do you knock before the fecal implant?
No. Anyways, good for you. You know what I mean.
All right, Adam. What? Give us a little more.
To the extent that capitalism was a system where a lot of people suffered unnecessarily.
I feel like
electing
we're going
the stupidest person ever. Yeah, probably. Electing the stupidest, most hateable person to the head of the system allows people to organize and say, wait, all these things that are wrong are still wrong, right. And the best they can do is someone who has holes in his brain, the oldest, dumbest, fattest president that's ever been elected.
Yeah. I don't know if we were so healthy that we were ready for that lesson.
I don't think so either.
There was a fatter president.
That's like, Iron Man needed to have his thing ripped out of his chest.
Bathtubs were really small, and he was a Supreme Court justice.
I will say that if you compare it to Bush, Bush, it was much worse with Bush. In other words, it will be worse
Because it
with
was,
Trump, but it hasn't
of Iraq.
been yet. And if you really, like, we just didn't know what was coming with Bush. But if you think of that moment, you will never have a moment as satisfying in terms of exposing someone as a fool as the My Pet Goat moment. You'll never have that with Trump. You know, it would be such a victory if
He was reading "I Have a Goat" when the trade centers of New York fell down.
When the two match, I think they were called
The identical
matching
skyscrapers
towers.
of Hoop-
The matching towers.
All right, Adam. I mean,
All right,
is
so
that why you voted for
I'm just
Trump?
saying. I'm
Give and
saying.
take, give and take, give and take. Sorry.
I've only voted like 5 times, and it was in a swing state, so it doesn't matter.
Rob's about to come up here and do a straight up improv workshop about give and take.
Yes. So I told him to run when I was at his 3rd wedding. Whatever, it happens. But the point is, the DSA of Los Angeles has doubled in size since the election. So people are fighting against a system that's just taking from ordinary people and having the worst opposition in the world, a cartoonish failure that's everything wrong
But
with
I
Nixon.
think that's why we almost have to stop just enjoying what an idiot he is and sort of, because then it becomes tribal and people that support him they get more
Well, that's
fuck
like,
you. And to care about them, I mean, it's challenging.
I've been to, I think maybe all minus one of the marches that have happened downtown, and it's the signs are hilarious because he's easy to make fun of, and he looks stupid, and he says dumb things, and he's very quotable because he says like just bonkers shit all the time.
Yeah.
It's fun to ridicule this guy, and it's kind of this weird palliative, like placebo that we take, and go like, oh, he's ugly, and his hair is crazy, and he's orange. No, he also has hired monsters. Like it's too easy just to make him the butt of a joke.
But I think
it's something way more.
It's
I'm
the
with you.
argument for normalizing him.
Exactly.
The argument for normalizing him is to say, okay, we're gonna let go of this thing because it's not convincing half the country, and we're gonna focus instead on these corrupt policies and these corrupt people, and we're gonna do it from the position of we don't want Americans to suffer, because that's what's gonna happen. 62 people have more than, I mean, I hate to even include you in this group, but 62 people, 61 excluding Dan, have more net worth than the other half of humanity. I mean, it's crazy.
But it's not a contest.
So we should kill Dan Harmon? Is that what you're saying?
Big, great final episode. If we're going to conclude the season, there's no better way to do it.
But I create jobs.
Okay, I'm back in.
There's a guy that feeds my fish.
Yeah, no, he's.
I have a dog sitter.
Yeah.
You want me rich? It trickles down.
A guy who pretends he's a dog because you hate dogs, but you like people.
Yeah.
That's on Netflix now.
But I just want to say, I mean, the thing is, it's.